Welcome to Come Forever number 2. My name is Ben Riley. Actually, I'm the Scarlett Spider. So, I'm going to give you guys a brief history of the cosplay character, the Scarlett Spider, that I'm going to be playing in February. I have these gloves on because I did a nunchuck demonstration in the video. With little to no incident. I'm also wearing my stunt outfit, actually. The only thing that isn't the stunt outfit is the head and the shoes. So the gloves don't go, but I'm probably going to wear them just in case someone asks me to do a demonstration. So these are short sticks for Okinawa Kempo, or just Kempo, because I learned Kempo, not Okinawa Kempo. So and also for grip. Okay, so I also did a slower demonstration. You get the gist. Even did a lightsaber demonstration. No, I'm not in Star Wars. But if I was, I would have been awesome. So, now, let me break down the Scarlet Spider for you. Let's see, I believe it was back in 1986 or 87. The Scarlet Spider was in the thought process. Granted, his debut didn't come around until about like 1989, 90, 91, somewhere in there. But he didn't get a whole series until the late 90s, early 2000s. All right? Mostly it was the late 90s. So in the series, spawned off from Maximum Clonage. So we're not going to do Maximum Clonage. We're going to go further back to the first Clone Wars. So, what you fail to understand, back in the first Clone Wars was between 85, 86, 87, somewhere in the 80s. There was a Clone War not too long after the Secret Wars. And the continuity and all that shit's all kind of messed up. So we're just going to go with the continuity that I know. And the continuity that I know is really quite crazy. But we're going to go for it anyway. So there's this guy named Jackal who somehow or another got a hold of Spider-Man's DNA. He and Spider-Man are the only two who actually knew who he was at the time. But he didn't know who Spider-Man was until he made the clone. Which at the time, Spider-Man was also dating Gwen Stacy. Okay? Once Gwen Stacy had passed due to Spider-Man not having impact webbing to save her life, that would play later in Maximum Clonage and clone stuff that will play later on, where the clone of Gwen Stacy would be saved by either Spider-Man or the Scarlet Spider. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the Scarlet Spider because Spider-Man did not have impact webbing until he encountered Ben Riley as Scarlet Spider. Moving backwards. So there was this big brawl. And I mean, there were Spider-Men everywhere. Kind of, if you can find the original Double Dragon comics from Marvel, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like basically a rehashing, only that came before the Double Dragon comic. So if you can find the Double Dragon comic, you can see all the Billy and Jimmy Lees just battling it out. And only two Billy and Jimmy Lees are standing, which are those two. And then Billy has blonde hair and beats the crap out of Jimmy, who has black hair. And then they switched it for the cartoon because they're just bastards. But anyway. So after that happens, this damn Xfinity thing keeps popping up. I'm sorry, this is going to happen a lot. And I'm probably going to do what I'm doing right now a lot. Okay, so getting that out of the way. So there's this big brawl. And it was Spider-Man, 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 Spider-Man. There's like 40 some odd Spider-Men in this brawl. So Jackal like OD'd on the cloning process. He like literally just went freaking ballistic and said, I'm gonna clone the crap out of Spider-Man and cause all kinds of problems. This is where the snafu comes in. And by that I mean there was gonna be a super climax that would rock Marvel for quite some time. Mind you now, everything that I'm saying right here, right now, has been totally retconned, I think. I stopped reading Marvel in about 2010, because that's when that big red hound happened, and my ass was Fort Benning, Georgia. Anyway, moving on. So at the end of the very first Clone Wars, Spider-Man was dead, or at least the clones were dead. This will come back to play later. Probably have to make 2 videos for this, but this will come back later. So 3 Spider-Men survived this massive, gigantic, thumping ass brawl. 3 of them survived. Technically, 3 of them survived. Actually, in all actuality, I think it was a total of 5 that may have survived. It was an odd number that survived. Again, I'm pretty sure this shit's been retconned. It's a magical word that I hate for comics. But anyway, because it makes all of my comic knowledge now void. But anyway, so in the big brawl, for sure, 3 got away. There was Spider-Man, there was Spider-Man, and there was Spider-Man. One Spider-Man became a wanderer, who would later become the Scarlet Spider. They did a whole series on him that took him the 5-year journey from when the Clone War ended to everything that Ben Reilly has been through. He started calling himself Ben Reilly because he peeked in on Peter Parker, who he believed was a clone, who Peter Parker believed he was the original McCoy. He went off and married Mary Jane and lived happily, and Ben Reilly decided to make as much space between him and Peter Parker as possible. However, the third guy, Kane, who somehow or another got some really fracked up ass thing going on with his face after the battle, he went back to the Jackal. Came back to the Jackal, and then he had like all kinds of vines and shit busting all out of his skin. I meant to say veins, not vines. But anyway, he was going through all that crap. And in the midst of all that, there were other clones. But they would later become Spider-Side and some other people that you will find in Maximum Clonage. Go Google it. Maximum Clonage was a pretty good saga, but Spider-Man and the clone thing was pretty much done to death. So they started wrapping that shit up. And the way that they wrap it up is, let's make Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Let's give him a brand new outfit, and let's let Peter Parker lose all of his powers and get beat up by the Sinister Six because they paid his ass back in full in front of Mary Jane because there was nothing she could do but watch the ass whooping that ensued. Then they decided, okay, let's have Reed Richards run a test on them. And Reed Richards' test is going to prove that Ben Reilly is the real McCoy and Peter Parker is the clone. But Peter Parker is the anomaly because he was never the clone. Ben Reilly was always the clone. And they found that out when he is impaled by the Green Goblin on top of the hospital building. When Spider-Man magically gets his powers back by an adrenaline rush. But we're not getting there just yet. Let's go back to the trial of Spider-Man. That's right. Somehow in between that and what I just said, Spider-Man and Ben Reilly and Peter Parker all went to court. I forgot why they went to court, but I know they went to court. They had a whole comic session of them. One was hanging in the bars, one was out of the bars, and apparently this would come back in Maximum Clonage, where Spider-Man had took like an atom bomb and opened it because Jackal fucked his mind up so bad that he believed that he was the clone, and he thought that Ben Reilly was going to come back and take his life and take his wife, and Mary Jane was supposedly expecting. There was a lot of different factors going on in that thing, but that would come back in Maximum Clonage. Prior to that, when they were on trial, I forgot why they were on trial, might I add, but eventually they kind of went their own ways. And eventually they would wind up coming back, and Ben Reilly would go see Aunt May, and I'm sure that's just been retconned. But, you know, they were getting to the point where they didn't know what they wanted to do with Ben Reilly. Then they didn't want to know what they wanted to do with Peter Parker, and all that time, Kane has found Tarantula, that took Tarantula's outfit, and Venom was becoming anti-Venom, and Cletus Cassidy was coming around, and something happened to him, which made Scarlet Carnage. Yeah, you see what's going on here. Again, all that shit's probably been retconned. But in the end, the whole matter of the fact is that there was clones on top of clones on top of clones. And the clones is kind of why I started putting the book down. While they were hunting down Spider-Man, not Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, they were hunting down Peter Parker. Peter Parker decided that he was going to be 6 different superheroes. One of them being Ricochet, one of them being Hornet, one of them being Dusk. And Dusk was another symbiote suit, which was cool because they returned to symbiote. I forgot what happened to Dusk. But by the end, Peter Parker had picked like 6 new people to take his identities with the powers that he emulated. Now, mind you, Spider-Man has super strength, super leaping ability, and spider senses. His webs are not organic, so he has to make web shooters. So I guess he learned how to throw dots when he was Ricochet, and he had some flying invention on his back when he was the Hornet, and when he was Dusk, he was a symbiote. The symbiote could do whatever the hell Spider, Peter Parker wanted him to do. And this entire time while this is going on, Scarlet Spider is about to become the Spider-Man, also being hunted by Kane at this time. So therefore, you see the conundrum of what they were doing. And then it only gets worse. The Jackal returns. And when the Jackal returns, so do clones. Maximum clonage.